Hello people, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time on the channel, a special welcome to you. I'd say you check out the rest of my videos. If you like what you see, give them a thumbs up, leave a comment, but more than anything, I'm asking that you subscribe to the channel. Today I'm going to be covering two subjects. I'm just going to give a quick update to my banned and deportation video, which I uploaded recently, and I'm gonna be covering a video that was sent through to me about the Artiste Stylo G versus the Jamaican police and an incident that went down recently. I usually don't touch entertainment news unless it has something to do with law. And considering that this one has something to do with law and the conduct of police officer, I decided, yeah, I'll jump on this one and I'll share my two-piece as to what I think of the video and what I think was right and what I think was wrong. But before I get into that, let me quickly say, in regards to the recent video that I uploaded, which is in reference to my independent exit from the United States of America, where I found out some 20 plus years later that such independent exit status has been changed to deportation and ban. Firstly, I want to say thanks to everybody that commented. I mean, the video is still fresh on the channel, so I expect a whole lot more commentary, but I still want to say thanks to everybody that commented. Some people shared their stories, and some people were still curious and had a whole bunch of questions. However, I've decided to add a little more comment to the comments that I've actually read. And I want to say to my Jamaican people and to people all over the world that it is a shame that so many people of the world put America, the United States of America, on such a high pedestal, because if I'd actually said I was deported, banned, or independently exited Africa or any country on the continent of Africa, I don't think anyone would bat an eye. And I think that is so shameful. You know, if I'd said I independently left Ghana and they changed my status from independently leaving to now I'm deported from Ghana or Gambia or Nigeria, I think everybody would just be like, oh, that's no big deal. But the minute I said I independently left the United States of America and my status somehow has been changed to deportation and ban, everybody is like, oh my God, losing their mind. It's not that a big deal, people. The next thing I wanted to bring out on my channel is that for those who are unaware, Americans are deported and banned from countries around the world every day. And I don't hear anyone in the US making a big deal out of it. Recently, I covered a guy's story who was deported and finding it difficult in Jamaica to find employment. And I thought it was a shame that an employer was actually holding that against him, because I am sure that a lot of Americans that are deported from other countries back to America, when they get deported back to America, they go on and live their own life and they don't have any other consequences to play. A few years ago, there was an American girl that was deported from Italy on a murder charge after being in prison for X amount of time, and I'm sure that she went back to the United States of America and is at present living her life free and clear from any suspicion of being a criminal. And I just believe that Jamaicans who are deported from any countries around the world should also have that right and also have that freedom or advantage of liberty. I've said it once on my channel before, and I'll still say it again. Despite how the media paints Jamaica, Jamaica is not a hellhole, people. Jamaica is a society like any other society where people do encounter hardship and people have to make it. But anywhere else in the world, I mean, England, the United States of America, Canada, even a country that I live in, I'm sure people encounter some level of hardship on one scale or another. I mean, a couple of years ago, many years ago, my wife and I, after living in the United Kingdom for how many years, we decided to go back to Jamaica to live. We didn't know if we was going to stay permanently or we're just going to stay a couple of years. But the landlady that we rented the house from, she was in suspense. She was curious. She was saying, oh, you guys are too young to migrate back to Jamaica. My wife and I couldn't figure out what was she getting at. It is a shame that Jamaicans can't go back home once they go to foreign, because if they go back home, people is gonna either think that they're either been deported or they're running from something, they're wanted abroad, or somebody is looking for them. And that's a shame. It's a shame that our people, Jamaican people, has put Jamaica in that box that it is a country that all Jamaican wants to get away from. That is not true, because I'm a Jamaican living abroad, but in my hearts of hearts, Jamaica is home. I'm not afraid to go back to Jamaica. I'm not afraid to live in Jamaica. Whether I was broke or whether I have money, I have no problem going back to Jamaica and living in Jamaica. The country that I live in at the moment, I moved here by choice. My wife and myself had the world as our oyster, and we actually chose to live in this country. And I would love for black people, in particular Jamaicans, to actually feel that way about themselves. You don't have to be confined at home. You can travel the world, whether it's just for tourism or if you go to a country and you feel like you like it there, you want to spend a few years there. Take advantage of that freedom. I mean, we are not trees. We have legs. We can actually move. So I want Jamaican people to think about that point and be inspired by my attitude, or be inspired by the moves that I've made with my life. Anyway, now on to Stylo G and the video that was sent through to me. I'm not going to play all the video because the video is 10 minutes long and you can actually see the full video on other channels on YouTube, but I'm going to let you guys watch a few minutes of it, and then I'm going to tell you guys how I feel about the situation.
My life on my Instagram now with our Cayman as estate. You understand, my people? Brother, this is the for my Instagram. Brother, people send police at my place. Police at my place. Police. Yo, hold this. Don't take it off, yeah? Please, darling. Please, you know my rights, brother. I'm gonna search the place, we're gonna find no gun. Instagram live, keep it on them because the police come, keep it live. It's a Jamaica, I'm not trust nothing. Police come, people send police. We don't live here. People send police to search and they find gun. Police never find no gun. Why you want to arrest me and bring me to the station? They can't process it, right? That's all. Oh, she can't reach out, can't lie even, but I call them quick, brother. I don't live here, bro. I don't live here. We don't want to arrest people, we don't do nothing, bro.
Don't forget you're not in England.
Eh?
Don't forget that you're not in England.
Yeah, but we're still on a certain rights. Yeah, but we're still on a certain rights. Why you want to arrest me when you don't find a gun? There's no gun, there's no weapon in your house.
You'll be taken down.
There's no fear. I guess never.
When you don't talk, you still go. If you still talk,
this is, everybody has seen this now. This is wrong. This is wrong. I'm here working. When you're on my music, brother. Never come to music. We'll come search the place, to search the place. We'll never find no guns.
and when all is said and done, you're going to the station.
You never find no gun, brother.
Where's the station?
Yo, turn the camera upon them, brother. You don't trust nothing, brother. You never find no gun, officer. So why you want to bring me to the station? Why you want to bring me to the station? There's no guns in the house. We're not leaving without a liar. Hey, push it. We're not leaving without a liar, brother. I don't want to go, brother. There's incidents where people get beat up in that shit. Man get killed in that shit.
Excuse me?
Okay. Brother, I'm not here, brother. Me now move. I'm not going to no station. I'm not going to no station until you know me in the right hands, brother. There's no way. I don't live in Jamaica. I live in England. And you're going to tell me, say, you search my place, you never find no gun, but you have to bring all of us to the station.
Take us to the police station tomorrow.
Come on, brother. I went to Calabar High School. I'm very brother. When you come, kick out the door, gun, everything that we face. But here, there is no weapons here. There is no weapons, officer. You know this.
So why you don't want to
I'm here with my music, brother.
I know. Exactly.
That's no fear. That's no real, brother. You're going to take us to the station right now for what? Process. Bro, I don't live here. We're take you here. We can't call us and find people who are here or not. It's happened already, brother.
When all is said and done, proceed. You still have full class.
When I'm means I don't work, I got work to do, but I got to work hard. This is how I pay my kids in, and they want to stop my work because who will get information so they're not fun.
Sir, let's get an idea, get an idea. So if you go be a double, then I go resist.
But only I resist.
Man, if you don't want to come to the station, I'm gonna put the handcuff on you and carry you.
So as you guys can see, Stylo G's home in Jamaica was actually invaded by police officers, and according to Stylo G, the door was kicked in and guns were pointing all over the place. This is how I feel about the situation, and I'm speaking legally here. I'm not just saying how I feel about the situation as a person. Legally, police officers do need probable cause to come to your house, and that probable cause could be the complaint of a neighbor, or just a neighbor calling the police and saying, well, Stylo G has a gun, whether they heard a gunshot or they saw a gun brandish. However, when the police comes to a person's house, the police needs permission from the residents of the home to be legally let into the home. Other than that, the police would need an actual warrant to enter a person's home. That, to my knowledge anyway. If any guys, if you know anything in the Jamaican law that differs to that, please write it in the comment section so that I would know. However, if whatever the police comes to find cannot be found, and it is proven that the allegation was false, the complainee, the person who called the police, could be arrested and could be charged. And even though these police officers didn't find any evidence of a crime, these police officers still insisted that they wanted to take Stylo G to the station for processing. That is a questionable demand, and Stylo G did not have to actually comply with that part because he was not arrested for anything. There wasn't any crime involved. There wasn't any evidence of a crime. So the police officers had no other choice really to legally take note of the complaint that they have and leave the residence. The police officer have no need to wanting to take his data. The police officer in this case has no right to wanting to book him, because taking you down to the police station for processing fingerprint, name, and so on, that is your data. And you have a right to your data until you have lost that right to your data. And usually you can only lose that right to your data if you give it up voluntarily or if you were arrested and charged for something. So that right there, in my legal opinion, is wrong, and the Jamaican police was in violation of several rules in law. I was surprised to actually see an inspector there, an inspector of police, the ones that wear that brown uniform, who should know better that once you come in the scene and you have no evidence of a crime, you need to get your tail out of the person's private residence as soon as possible. So that's pretty much what I have to say about the Stylo G versus Jamaican police incident. From what I see, the neighbor or whoever called the police should be the one being processed, and Stylo G and his friends and or entourage should be left alone. However, Stylo G did take the right stance by having the situation filmed, because, you know, these days you can't trust police officers. I am sure many Jamaicans looking at the video will speculate that it is a shakedown. But I can't use speculation on the channel, so I can only say what I saw in the video and also what I know from a legal point of view. Anyway, people, that's pretty much all I have to say today. But before I go, I have to big up some people.
Big up yourself to the maximum.
I want to big up one of my loyal and faithful subscribers named Roots Rock. I want to big up a channel called Light. And last but not least, I want to big up Bingy J.
Big up yourself to the maximum.
I hope you enjoyed this video. As you know, on my channel I take thumbs up, thumbs down, I take agreement, disagreement, because at the end of the day, each one teach one.